You always have a choice. Think about that for a second. I have a lot of friends who work in finance and law here in Hong Kong. From the outside, they've made it. High pay, incredible reputation, absolute prestige. But if you look closer, they don't look happy. They spend their weeks worrying about performance reviews, impending layoffs, and agonizing over what their boss thinks of them. Whenever we grab coffee, I ask them a simple question. Do you actually want to live your boss's life in 20 years? Almost all of them immediately say, no. So I follow up, then why don't you move? Why don't you leave? And their answer is always the exact same. I can't. I have no choice. I'm completely stuck. I don't even know what else I could do. If you're watching this and that corporate suffocation feels familiar, I want you to know something. I truly understand that feeling because not too long ago, I was sitting exactly where you are right now. It was an absolute illusion of success. Back then, after every unreasonable request or harsh critique from management, I would need a 10-minute toilet break just to calm down. I would literally sit in a bathroom stall, doing deep breathing exercises and meditating just to make sure I looked sane enough to walk back to my desk. I felt like a robot. Wake up, go out to grab lunch while listening to positive music just to numb the anxiety. Run to the gym right after work, aggressively working out to release the stress while blasting motivational podcasts into my ears. That wasn't self-care, it was survival. It was the only way I could sustain myself to wake up and do it all over again the next day. It was suffocating, but I told myself the exact same thing. I have no choice, I have to stay here. Finance is the only way out.
That's the core of the issue right there. We live in a society that has conditioned us to believe that luxury is entirely material. We think luxury is a high-floor office overlooking Central, a designer watch, or a prestigious corporate title on a business card. But let's be honest, what is the luxury title worth if you don't even have the freedom to eat lunch away from your laptop? What is the point of a high paycheck if you're trading your mental sanity in a bathroom stall to earn it? Most high earners don't just spend money, they incur status debt. They buy expensive apartments and designer clothes just to match their corporate identity. They stay trapped not because they lack food, but because their lifestyle requires an extreme monthly overhead just to maintain the appearance of success. The definition of luxury has changed. Modern luxury is not about what you can buy. Modern luxury is wellness. True luxury today is purpose. It's the luxury of having alignment in your everyday life. It's the luxury of waking up without a pit of anxiety in your stomach. It's the luxury of being able to say no to people and environments that drain your soul. When we look at our careers and say, I have no choice, what we usually mean is, I'm terrified of losing my social identity. Think about it, more than losing a stable paycheck, people are terrified of losing their status. They're terrified of going to a friend's gathering, a wedding, or a cocktail party and not having a fancy corporate title to introduce themselves with. We have prioritized looking successful to strangers over actually feeling free in our own lives.
And it takes a massive perspective shift to break out of that. Just a few months ago, a close friend of mine who works at a top finance firm here in Hong Kong reached out to catch up. She had just finished a brutal performance review with her boss, and she was terrified of getting fired. She was panicking, feeling like her entire world was collapsing. I looked at her and said, "You have a choice. Think about where we are. We are in a massive, thriving, and global city. You have knowledge, you have degrees, you have skills. Even if the absolute worst-case scenario happened, and you had to take a basic entry-level job to pay rent, your baseline survival is guaranteed."
We live in a city with infinite options. We're not saying you should go downscale your career overnight. What we're saying is that your intellect and your education mean that you will always find a way to eat and live. When you realize that your worst-case scenario is actually completely fine, the fear loses its power over you. A simple, minimal life where you own your time and peace of mind is inherently more luxurious than a high-paying corporate role. That is the ultimate safety net, realizing that your worst-case scenario isn't actually fatal.
So, if you're feeling stuck right now, we feel you, we really do. That fear of losing identity is exactly why people stay in old roles for so long. But we wanted to put this out there to remind you of the truth that the corporate world wants you to forget. You are not a robot, and you are not trapped.
The biggest risk in life isn't losing a corporate title. The biggest risk is spending your entire life living someone else's timeline because you're too afraid to choose yourself. You have knowledge, you have talent. Stop letting a paycheck buy out your wellness. Reclaim your purpose, reclaim your peace.
Because at the end of the day, you always have a choice. And the world out there is so much bigger and so much more beautiful than the corporate box you have built around yourself.
If this resonated with you, let's talk about it. Tell us in the comments what choice are you afraid to make right now. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next video.